Today we are going to do the tape peel video for my Instagram for this piece of art that I just finished, and I have another phone set up here to take that video. I'm using my actual phone as my vlogging camera, but this is a very crude setup. But I just have my work taped to the table like this, and I'm just gonna take snippets of the tape peel and I'm just gonna stitch it together into one video. Hopefully it turns out okay, but this is just for Instagram anyways, and I just wanted to make sure that I captured the tape peel because I love seeing the piece come to life once the tape is off, because for the most part when you're working on the piece, you know, the whole time you can't really imagine what it's gonna look like without the tape. So yeah, we'll finally get the big picture once the tape is off, but I'm gonna go ahead and start peeling the tape. So I need to be careful because the tape picked up some pieces of paper, but I feel like that's inevitable. I just need to be careful next time. All right, very carefully now this time. That one came out much better. There was no pull on the paper, so that's good. All right, last one. That was the last one. So this is how the final piece looks like without the tape borders, and I feel like now I can get a better feeling of the drawing, though I will say I need to be really careful. There was some tugging right there, you can kind of tell. So now that I have that piece finished, signed, and ready to be framed, it just kind of feels weird. It always feels weird, I think, when you finish a drawing and during that whole time you're so invested in it and you've put all your efforts and your heart into it, and then the moment that you see it all done, you're just kind of like, oh, okay,
I don't know if I like it right now. I don't know. I think I just need to remove myself from the drawing a little bit and just come back to it later. But I don't know if you guys ever feel that way about your own art when you've been working on something for so long and then you finally finish it and you don't really know how to feel. So I think the best way is for me to just get started on a new one. And I came across this one video on YouTube, and they were talking about how productive people, you know, there's two different types: the ones that get depressed right after they finish something, and the ones that just kind of snap out of it and then just move on to the next thing. And I feel like I tend to lean towards the middle. Like, it depends on what I'm working on, but right now I just feel like I don't know how I feel about the drawing now that I pulled the tape out and seeing it in its entirety. I think though in the end I will for sure feel confident about it once I see it framed and everything, but I should just give myself like a day or two, not look at it, forget about it a little bit, and then come back to it and see how I feel. But I definitely think I should just get started on the next one so that I don't dwell too much on the things that I wish I could have done better with that drawing. So yeah, that's just a little tidbit. I don't know if you guys ever feel the same way, but I would love to know if you do. So I'm gonna set up my camera like this. I think this is the best that I can do for now because my phone is mounted on this desktop tripod where you clamp it onto the side of your desk. And so this is the best that I can do for now. Maybe one of these days I could get an actual tripod off of Amazon, but I think I'll just make do with what I have for now. And so we have my sketch that I worked on not too long ago, And I think I'm just gonna kind of tape my sketchbook to the wall just so I can use it as a reference. But I'm also working off of a reference image that I found online, but loosely when I create new pieces, I always try to base it off of a sketch instead of a reference photo. This is based off of a reference photo, but I don't want my work to reflect like it looks like a reference photo, if that makes sense. So that's why mostly I'll be referencing my sketch, and I'll tape this to the wall as well. I don't know if this is gonna work, but we're gonna try. Okay, so I was being stupid, and obviously the tape wasn't gonna hold up the sketchbook well enough, and I wasn't even thinking, but I could have just, from the beginning, put binder clips on the top, and maybe I can just stick it onto the wall like this. That may work better, but now I can't, oh, well, maybe it's gonna go. All right, that seems to be holding it better than the tape. So we'll just keep it like that. So this is the end product of today's progress for the base drawing. That's a lot of color pencil shavings. These are actually watercolor Faber-Castell, if it focuses, Faber-Castell watercolor pencils that I like to use. And so this is where we got to for this afternoon, and I feel like it's a little different obviously than the sketch in terms of the composition and just the way things kind of look like right now, but that's usually how it goes in the beginning. With a sketch like this, it really is just to map out basically where I want the flowers to be, and once the oil pastels come in, that's when I begin subtracting to get more of the loose floral shapes. And as you can see right now, they're just big swaths of color and blobs of color. But it'll make sense once the pastel comes in. And yeah, I think I really like the composition so far. I like the movement. I wish that I had added a little bit more light green towards this side, but I think we could still make that happen. So that's it for this afternoon, and I think that maybe tomorrow I'll get started on the first base of the oil pastels. But yeah, really happy with how it turned out. So my desk setup is a little crazy right now because I had to make room for that guy in the wall, and so that I can, move around that space by the door while I'm working. But I think I'm just gonna have to be flexible and just move things as I go. So yeah, this setup will probably be different in another day depending on what I do. But yeah, so I think that's it for today's process. I hope you enjoyed that, and we'll see you guys in another video.